I see the activity actually in the city as streams of light, of people's energies. The energy in the city, the energy in life. I feel like I see it in motion of color.
My name is Coco Carroll. I am one of the co-creators of the Gauntlet, along with my husband and artistic partner, Skip Shirey. We created the Gauntlet, which is an immersive choral experience. We've done the Gauntlet in New York, at the Sydney Opera House, at the Cleveland Museum of Art, and most recently at Rockefeller Center.
My name is Skip Shirey. I'm the director, co-creator, and composer of The Gauntlet. The Gauntlet has many aspects, but the root action is someone passes a tone to someone else as if it's a physical object.
My name is Holly and I'm the Director of National Sawdust Projects and Community Engagement. The Rockefeller Center came to me and asked if we would create a gauntlet for their space. We want hundreds of singers and they need to be from across New York City, and it needs to be representative of the diversity of the city that we're living in, and the theme of transformation is what we want to explore.
Well, it's interesting because I've been in New York my whole life, and it's a very different city now than it was when I was a kid. It was always a little bit dangerous, and as a result now when I'm in New York, there's nothing that scares me. I made it through something way harder than anything that can happen now.
My role is both choreographer for the dancers, and also I do this process of movement interviews to help Skip create the libretto.
I think the transformation happens from a curious mind. And if your perspective is open and flexible and soft, then it opens up new windows. So maybe look at the same thing differently.
We had more singers than we've ever had before. 200 singers from various choirs around New York City. 5 simultaneous gauntlets happening at the same time. So in front of 30 Rock, we had a labyrinth gauntlet. The audience could walk through it in any way they wanted. The piece they did is a conceptual piece that we first did in Sydney with the Australian national anthem. In New York City, we did it with My Country 'Tis of Thee, America the Beautiful, and the Star-Spangled Banner. I took the first stanzas, I broke them up and wrote them onto index cards, and I started to put them together in a way that seemed logical to me and a way that emotionally resonated with me. Then we took New York stories of transformation and self-discovery, and we verbally fed them through the labyrinth along with the melodies from each of these songs. You get to be in a field of information that contains all three, and you get to knit it emotionally back together. We also had 2 tunnel or hallway gauntlets and 2 circle gauntlets.
The body changes.
The body changes. The body changes. The body changes.
was, I think I was 10.
10, coming from
Taiwan.
Taiwan. Do you remember the first things you saw when you arrived?
I remember the airport, and I remember my parent bought me a necklace with a heart on it. It was the first time my name was written in English. I had a new name almost because it was like I always had a different identity.
The first thing I saw when I came to New York was a necklace with a heart and my name.
I mean, there's people from all over the world coming to Rockefeller Center every day. Like, I don't imagine they were expecting to see 200 singers sharing these stories and sharing their voices.
You, your name, and you in this place are born again.
We were walking down the street and we hear couples arguing, we hear little pieces of business information. We are sitting on the subway looking at our fellow New Yorkers and imagining what their lives are like. This is a city of stories. We are living in a gauntlet of stories.
The Gauntlet and its process is really radical to me as an artist. It's privileging individual stories, an individual narrative, and pushing back against a single narrative point perspective of history.
Look up and see each of the losses.
Every time we come into a new community, there's new movement interviews, and there's a new process, and there's new stories. There's so many stories in a single human life. There's so many stories in just a day. There's so many stories in a single New York block. And there were so many stories in the Gauntlet at Rockefeller Center.
You're a colossus. You're a colossus. You're a colossus. The first thing I saw when I came to New York was a necklace with a heart and my name. Letters for the first time in